the last few years, Unity Homes has become a household brand in Kenya. What are they doing differently and what makes them tick? Karibu sana on the show.
Thank you, Nancy.
Take us through your rich history of Unity Homes.
Okay, so look, our business stems from a previous business which was called Civicon, which all our shareholders were part of. And we sold that back in 2013, right? But that business was at heart a large-scale professional construction firm. And we used to build power stations, mines, roads and bridges all across East Africa for international clients. Yeah? And so in 2014, we took all that experience, and we did have a lot of experience. The four shareholders of Unity Homes, between them, have 80 years of construction and engineering experience, right? And we took that experience and we started Unity Homes. And the four of us invested $5 million in the company. So we started with that rock solid financial foundation, which even to today, we've always maintained that. That sort of explains who we are.
Let's talk about your DNA. Why Unity stands out? What are you doing differently? And what should we be expecting going forward?
Well, our growth over the last 10 years has been really fast. And if you look at that, we've sold and delivered over 1,200 houses to date. Not only have we done that, we've handed those houses over in a timely manner. Yeah? And in some cases, we've even handed houses over 6 months early. Yeah? I don't know of another developer in Kenya that has handed over a house 6 months early. Even we were surprised. It comes down to that delivery. And all great businesses, they have a good product, but they also deliver it. Yeah? There's no point in having a great product if when somebody says, I want 50 of them, you can't just give them to them. Yeah? And that has been a core bit of our success, I think.
It's very impressive. Yes, I want to confirm you've delivered your units before time. Who buys into Unity Homes?
Well, look, everybody buys into Unity Homes. It's amazing how diverse our customers are. People are looking for homes, people are looking for investments, people are buying for their children. You'd be amazed at the different types of people that buy these houses. We've got international buyers, huge amount of diaspora, huge amount. Loads amounts, I reckon about 60% of clients are Kenyan investors. Yeah?
Other developers who are watching you are wondering, what makes you tick? What would you tell them?
Well, I'm not sure I'd tell them anything, Nancy, but something which is very different about our business, yeah, is that we are vertically integrated. We're both a contractor and we're a developer, right? And what this means is we don't have that friction that has traditionally been there between developers and contractors. And I think we all know, I'm sure you've got some horror stories about contractors in your own life. Yes. Everyone has a horror story or knows a horror story about a contractor. Not turning up to site, taking your money, not providing the quality you want, not picking up the phone, whatever, yeah? Legal disputes. We have none of that, yeah? Because we are the contractor and we are the developer. But that aside, this vertical integration leads to a second thing, which is actually even more powerful than lack of friction, which is the quality that we can achieve. Here on site, we have a team of 15 quality control engineers and architects, right? And every single house we hand over goes through 315 separate quality checks. Yeah? That's a lot.
It is a lot.
You see the paperwork for one house, it's mind-blowing. And ever since we started this business, we had this vision. We look at the automotive industry, and when you buy a new car, 0 miles from a showroom, it comes out, there's not a fingerprint on it. You know? It smells nice, everything works. That is what we want to achieve with a house. When you get a house from Unity Homes, yeah, it's like getting a 0 mile car. Yeah?
And everything works.
Everything works, yeah.
My plumbing, tick. Electricity, tick.
315 ticks, Nancy. And it wasn't always like that. We've innovated, we've improved over the years, and it's getting better and better and better. Yeah? So, you know, in the end, we have people crawling around the floor looking for paint marks and things like that. You know, we really do want to hand somebody an immaculate product. That's what we are doing.
Perhaps you could take us through some of the risks that you see when people are buying into the projects.
Yeah. There are lots of things to look at, but I think there's one big thing that if you're buying a house, you absolutely need to be sure of, yeah? And that is the integrity of your title deed. Here at Unity Homes, we ensure before we sell houses that we have paid for the plot 100% with our money, not with your money when you buy a house. So when I take your money, I build your house. I don't pay for the plot, right? And the other thing we do not do is borrow against that plot to fund construction, right? And the reason we don't do it is we've seen it go wrong so many times, where developers are borrowing from the bank and they fail to perform, and the bank takes the plot. Yeah? And that's the plot that they've sold you, right? So you don't get your house, yeah? And it's a terribly sad situation. So,
and it happens over and over and over.
It does.
And over.
It's
it's
we've
very
both been in
sad.
the industry for quite a long time. I've seen it many times. So we have a philosophy that we do not borrow against the plots. So if you are buying some real estate, go and check the underlying title deed. You can search it, check if there's a charge against the bank, and check if it's owned by the developer, right? That is the easiest way to reduce your risk when you're buying real estate.
It's also important to understand where the developer is getting his funding from. If the developer doesn't have enough funding and you're only paying 10 or 20%, it cannot really build a home.
I love it. You've asked a very technical question. So something you can look for is the size of phases. Yeah? Because if a developer is trying to develop the whole thing, the whole building, 30 stories high, or the whole estate in one go, they're going to need all that cash, right? And halfway through that journey, before they've handed anybody a house, right, you could easily get into a situation where, for one reason or another, they get cash constrained. Yeah? Here at Unity, we do very small phases. So I think a typical phase is about 40 houses, yeah? Which means that's the amount of cash we need to hand houses over. And then we take the cash out again and put it back in. No, not finish the whole project, but that phase of the project. So
finish that
doing
that
small
phase.
phases, you need much less cash. Yeah? And developers who are watching this do smaller phases. Yeah? You'll be at much less risk, you'll put your clients at much less risk. When you see a 30-story building, which you're buying in of one of 300 apartments in there, you be sure they have the cash, because you need to get to the top floor before you hand over any houses. So the size of the phases, it does get a bit more, it's quite technical that, but it is something you can look at.
Also double checking the developer. Doing your own due diligence. Can the developer deliver? And does he have the muscle to deliver?
So there are two really important things you've got to do. You've got to go and see, with your own eyes. You've got to go to the site, and you've got to go and look at what the developer is doing. Look at the quality of the show home, right? Look at the contractor on site. Are they building? Are there 10 people on site? Are there 50 people on the site? Or 300 people on the site? Very big differences, in terms of the speed of what's happening, right? But also then go and look at the quality of everything that's happening, and look at the price per square meter. It's a good metric. Just take the price divided by the square meter. That'll give you a
rough idea.
Rough idea of where this sits in the market, quality and price. But then there's probably something that's bigger than all that. Once you've seen a house and you like it and you've been convinced by a very charming sales agent, but go and talk to somebody who's actually bought one of these houses.
Somebody who lives there.
Somebody who lives there.
Or somebody who's dealt with that developer.
Dealt with the developer and received a house. There's no point in talking to somebody who's not received a house. They don't have all the information. You want to get more information. So when you talk to somebody who's bought a house, you will get the truth, because they have experienced it firsthand. Here at Unity Homes, over 60% of our sales, they come from existing clients who are referring their friends. If you're going to refer your friends to a development, you're going to be pretty sure that you're happy with what you're doing, because your friends are much more important to you than anything else in life, isn't it? And so we pride ourselves on people saying good things about us. So if you're buying from a housing developer, go and find out what people say about them. And
or get reviews of that developer.
Go and talk to somebody. Have a conversation. So I think that's important.
Asante sana for your insights. I must admit that Unity Homes is #1.
Thank you.
In every area. Unity Homes is all about integrity, competence and strength. Here on The Property Show, we are happy to help you navigate the buying process, and we are just a telephone call away. The property pick of the week tracks the Centum Real Estate story on their flagship project located in a diplomatic blue zone along Limuru Road. offering a unique blend of residential, retail, commercial, and recreational spaces. Next, a conversation on the story of Centum Real Estate. Thank you for having us back, and congratulations. I can see a lot of things are happening here.
Thank you, Nancy. Welcome back to Centum Real. Feel at home. Now we have several homes that are complete. You've been to 2 of our projects, Vipingo, 2 Rivers, and I invite you to visit Uganda. We have homes and communities that people really like.
Actually, I can't wait to go to Kampala. Ken, give us an overview of how this whole journey has been, where we are coming from, where we are today, and how the future looks like.
So Centum Real was established to address a comparing need, which is housing. We're in the real estate space, and as you'll appreciate, you spend 95% of your time in real estate setup, either in the office working, either in a mall shopping, either in a gym or at an entertainment place, but you spend more than 12 hours at your home. So Centum Real specializes in creating nice homes where you enjoy the quality of life, you bring up nice families, and you enjoy the comfort of your home. So that's our core business. There is population growth, there is urbanization, and that is in the next several years, there will still be demand for housing, and we are focused on creating affordable, nice homes with beautifully landscaped gardens, with nice parks where businesses, families, kids, and the entire community setup can grow and thrive.
Ken, perhaps you can take us through the significant milestones that you have achieved throughout this journey, and where we are today and how the future looks like.
Thank you, Nancy. Centum Real is a company that has changed over time. This company was set up 57 years ago in 1967 as a real estate or property development company. Over time, it's evolved to do different things: own commercial buildings in Nairobi CBD, own large-scale land across East Africa, and currently we are addressing housing, among other real estate needs. Our biggest market segment is the housing, and what we do market studies. We establish where the demand is. We then pre-sell those units. We get the customer feedback, and then we begin construction. Over time, we've built a pipeline of more than 10,000 units. Initially, we started with 4,000 units in Nairobi, Vipingo, and Uganda. We've subsequently built and handed over more than 2,000 units to various homeowners. We currently have in excess of 2,000 units under construction, and where we see the future, there is demand for affordable units within nicely done gated communities. And within those communities, we've now advanced our concept. It's live, work, pray, run.
Wow.
And we think we can add a further one, which is worship, because those are the requirements of a complete society. So it's through this evolution and studying the market that we've been able to create a business out of it. Looking into the future, as statistics show, that population in growth in Africa will either double. As you're well aware, when you graduate from campus or college, people move to town centers to seek for economic opportunity or employment, and they need to be housed one way or another. So when we look at it, demand for housing is not going to end. It will keep increasing, and in fact there is a shortfall in terms of supply of high quality housing with all the amenities that can support either an individual, a business, or a family unit. So you have a home, you have a kids play area, you have a place for your gym, you need a safe environment where you can walk, run, and enjoy. And in the current world, you need something that you can take photos and show off or share with the world, which is some Instagrammable spaces. So our thought is to create those aspirational spaces that everyone is proud to stay in and go back to.
Wow. I know that I've been here, but for the sake of the viewers who have not been to Two Rivers, perhaps you could just take us through what kind of homes do we have available in this project?
So we have homes starting from a studio, but we want to give it a fancy name, a junior 1-bedroom unit, a 1-bedroom unit, 2, 3, up to 4-bedroom unit. The sizes vary. The price point starts from 1.9 million all the way to 50 or 60 million shillings.
I see the construction industry evolving every day. What are the major challenges that you have faced along the way?
There are many challenges, as you know, but they also create opportunities. The first one is a supply chain issue. Costs have been going up, both locally and internationally. The price of steel, the price of concrete, the price of cement, the price of finishes has generally gone up. 2 is the affordability segment. As the costs go up, you should also adjust your price, but we've largely maintained our prices. So we've worked on solutions to make sure that the units are affordable. We've partnered with banks, SACCOs, taking advantage of the affordable mortgages from Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company. Through various schemes, customers are able to afford. The other challenge is execution. Some projects were finished 6 months ahead of schedule. Some projects were still behind schedule, but it's lessons you run from one project to the next and you perfect in your execution. The other component is, of course, financing. As you may recall, we had raised a 3 billion bond at the start of COVID, which we also paid off. So the cost of financing has also been going up, both for ourselves
significantly
and for the customer.
Yes.
But we've worked a win-win model, and that's where off-plan comes in, where it's not too expensive to the customer, and also we get some form of financing. And we've also been tapping into markets to get long-term capital. Lastly, it's just getting purchasers to know about our products. Most of our new customers come in and say, look, we didn't know you have such beautiful spaces. Why haven't you been speaking to the world about it? And that's why we are here with you to tell the world to come and see what we can do.
Asante sana. Give us your parting shot and tell our viewers why Centum Real is the future.
So Centum Real has taken a long-term view. We have a demonstrable track record. We have early signs of success in the projects we've done. They actually model projects across. We invite the viewers to come and see what is possible. You visit our projects, whether you're investing with us or investing elsewhere. You see the lessons you can pick and reduce your total cost of running your home, and the sort of spaces you can create to really enhance your quality of life. Together, we can then make a difference and enjoy our lives as we become more productive.
What you're technically telling us,
Yeah.
just come and have a look.
Yeah, we've been speaking too much. Now you're saying just come and verify what we are talking about.
Come and see what
Yes.
is available.